Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector. This is my dog Dan.
Hi.
And we are in Las Vegas, the home of the UFC
and the mecca of MMA.
In our opinion, and we've talked about this before. What do you got, dog?
Yeah, we both agree on this. They go out there and finish a fight early in the first round, but don't get caught speeding. Don't get caught speeding on this fight.
They're against a guy who just got bit by a dog with rabies or something.
For me, it's do not bet.
And betting advice: do not bet. But it's going to be one of those things, guys. I really feel it.
It's unanimous. MMA Dogs have spoken.
5-star, and that's going to be a knockout. Just something to highlight the night.
MMADogs.com. MMADAWGS.com. Who's ready to make some money? I know we are. If you're ready to consistently profit over and over again, you've come to the right place. Now let's go to my dog Hector from America's finest city.
Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector, and I want to say a big thank you to our clients and to all of our supporters. For you guys who are, on the fence about it, thinking about making a purchase, getting our picks, I highly encourage you, and also to all the people who are, just our fans or who have helped us get to where we are at today. I want to give a big thank you. And it's the night before big UFC 168. And all the homework has been done. The fight footage has been watched. All the possible outcomes. And, you name it. Everything has been put in, the hours. And it all comes down to this. So I'm very, very excited. I'm actually beyond excited. It's been a long time coming for this day. And I can't wait to share my picks with you guys. So we'll go on upon that. Not only picks, but also the bets, which is very important. A lot of times, a lot of my time is spent not only deciding on what bets to make, but also filtering between which bets are worthy and which bets are not. So we're taking it up another notch. We're taking it up another step. And I think this will help our evolution. I think this will help our what we bring to the table as far as betting on UFC, betting on sports. And I really think this is going to help elevate our game to another level. And when I first got into this, I started off with, just betting on some of these fights and doing my own kind of like coming up with a formula, so to speak, and working my way from the ground. I really didn't have any advice, any mentors. Just started all on my own. And I started keeping a lot of notes and just spending a lot of time with it because I love it, though. I wouldn't do this if I didn't love it. And it's all worked out great. So I'm very, very happy. There's a lot of lessons learned in the first. I don't even want to put a number on the years, but in the first good amount of years, there's a lot of learning. So it's a long time coming. I'm very, very excited for this. And, I'm also very realistic. There's going to be times when you feel like you're invincible or you feel like, oh, these are locks or this and that. But how many times have you guys heard that, or, it gives a bad name to it all. So you have to just be real smart and careful. So the first thing is you never want to bet more than you can afford to lose. Second thing is you want to check the local laws to make sure where you're betting is legal. And so the big changes are we are guaranteed profit. So we're going to track the units and guarantee that the units will be in the plus. If they are not, then we'll give you back the $35, the $35 amount that you pay us, and the next card is on us. So that is a big step, I believe, and something that I feel like really puts our stamp and our guarantee on it. So guaranteed profit. Then the other thing I want to go over with you guys, another key note, some of these notes that I write down as I get down to the nitty gritty and what bets to place, what not to place. A big misunderstanding in sports betting and it's not a misunderstanding for the experts, but a lot of the audience watching this, a big misunderstanding, and it could be just a reminder for a lot of people, but we're not going up against the house. So we're not going up against the sports book, the big casino. We're not going up against them at all. We're actually going up against each other. And that's the reality of it, that we're going up against each other, and we decide how the line moves, when it moves, why it moves. So that's a great opportunity for us to have a big advantage over the typical MMA fan, the everyday, somebody who watches it who watches a fight and then perhaps skips next couple fights and then watches another fight and then they lay some money and then they lay some. So it's a very interesting idea, but it's true. So remember that, next time you decide, hey, you know what, I'm going to throw a parlay and I'm going to do this and I'm going to jump up and down on one foot and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to scream. And, next time you think, I'm going to hit the jackpot and I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to do this and all that, you got to keep in mind that there's a lot of guys betting on MMA now and a lot of guys who spend a lot of time researching this and moving the line with serious dough, so you just have to really think about it before you start throwing this and that around, even if it's a small bet, think about it. I mean, you just have to be smart about it. So let's move right along here. MMA dogs, UFC 168. And so 5 stars are 100%. 4 stars, I believe, are 83% now. And the 3 stars are 59%. Those go back 29 events, guys. 29 events. And that's not even to say the events that I've done before that. So 29 events, that's where they stand. 5 stars, 100%. 4 stars, 83, I believe, or possibly more. I know it's over 80 for sure. And 3 stars are around 59. So those are the numbers. Unfortunately, we don't have any 5-star plays for UFC 168. But we have a borderline 5-star play. Borderline. I mean, this is a 4-star play. This is the number 1 bet of the evening. And I am really excited about this one. Super excited at this one. This is a large play. Very large play. It's parlay worthy. It is 4 stars. And it is for Anderson, the Spider Silva, sitting at around minus 145. He is the greatest of all time. And, man, this guy is just a real treat, just an indulgence to watch fight. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. And in this particular fight with Weidman, he's fighting for his legacy. He's not going to go out like that. He's not going to go out with, knock on wood, God forbid, another loss. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And the way I see the fight breaking down is Weidman. The reality of the situation is that Weidman knows that he's not going to knock out Anderson Silva again. He has a couple options. He can go with the Chael Sonnen game plan and take him down, hold him down, beat him up. If Anderson Silva is injured, because we all know that he was injured in that Chael Sonnen fight. If he's injured, if he can hold him down, there's a lot of ifs. If he can take him down, if he can hold him down, if he can beat him up, if he can land a submission. So, if. And let's not forget that, when it comes to a championship fight, it's 5 rounds. It's not 3 rounds. The wrestler takes the guy down, holds him down for 3 rounds, and it's over. It's 5 rounds. We saw in the first fight, even with Anderson Silva injured. Let's say you don't believe he was injured. Let's say you say, you know what, he wasn't injured. Chael Sonnen was not a guy he was up for. He was not up for that fight. We all know that. If you don't know that, that's the fact. He wasn't up for that fight. He was just another guy, coming along who he was going to beat up, and that was it. But he totally underestimated him, but he still finished him. He still submitted him. And that's one of the greatest fights that I've ever watched. I had the pleasure and the honor of being there live and watching it. I thought there was going to be riots in Oakland. I couldn't believe it. And thank God, I mean, that all went down the way it did. And I feel very, very confident in Anderson Silva. I'll go over the units, how many units I'm going to lay on him, and all that good jazz. Second fight, number 2 fight, and oh man, I love this one too. I spent a lot of time researching, and this is Dustin Poirier, sitting at around minus 260. And what I see out of Poirier, studying his tape, is he's really turned the corner, in my opinion, and the tape shows it, so it's a fact. He has turned the corner. I feel like he's turned a new leaf at American Top Team. He's been there for a little while now, so he's got at least a couple, 2-3 fights under his belt there, maybe more. He's well-rounded. And even before the weigh-ins really didn't have an influence on me whatsoever. If anything, I wish that Brandao had made weight, because I believe Poirier will beat him, whether Brandao is on weight, overweight, underweight. I don't care what weight Brandao is at. I have a lot of confidence in Dustin Poirier. And I see it going to a decision, if not a finish for Poirier by knockout, and or possibly submission, but definite decision for Poirier. And then with Brandao, he gets rocked. I remember that one of the fights that really stood out to me was at the Tough finale when Bermudez rocked him. And then, who has he beat after that? After winning Tough, who has he beat? That gas tank scares the shit out of me. And he's already missed weight, so he's already been defeated once. He got beat by the weight, and that's a huge thing. I'm hoping it doesn't get bet down to some ridiculous odds. And I was already hearing people talking about the value in Brandao, and there's value in this Brandao. And the only thing I have to say about that is that a losing bet starts with the wrong pick. Maybe somebody said that out there. I've never heard it, but that's my big thing I took away from studying all these fights, UFC 168, is that a losing bet starts with the wrong pick. So for all you value birds out there, man, I hope you guys lose, because I am just, sick and tired of that whole value stuff. And then, so there you have it. 2 4-star plays: Anderson Silva, minus 145, Dustin Poirier, minus 260. And then we move along to 3 stars. There are none. Now, let's move some food for thought. Perhaps these are something you've been thinking about, so that's why I call it food for thought. And these are fights I've been thinking about, and something that I have decided not to bet on, but I want to cover it. So 2 stars, almost made the cut. Almost. I really wanted to bet these guys, but I could not, and I'll go over why. My third pick of the night, and these are, not guaranteed bets, not guaranteed picks. These are bet at your own risk. This is just talk. This is conversation. This is me sharing what I think of these fights. So this is Bobby Voelker. I have him beating Patolino Macario. So Bobby Voelker, he's got his back against the wall. This is it right here. He's either going to win this fight or he's going to retire. He took time off of work, which is already a problem. I don't like guys who have any other job outside of their fighting, outside of their fight career. That's already a problem. But he took time off for this fight, so he's all in on it. All in. And it's going to be dangerous in the first round. Possibly the second, maybe in the first half of the second. But if Bobby Voelker is indeed all in, and he does indeed stick to the game plan, which is drag Macario into the second, late in the third round, beat him up, take him down, control him, make him gas, then he will win the fight. But I don't like playing around with fire, and with Macario, he's a young, explosive striker. He's had a cardio issue in Brazil, which is very, very, very tempting, very, very encouraging for me, for somebody who's picking Voelker, somebody who's looking to bet Voelker. And then the other thing that really, really stands out is how is Macario going to handle a fighter like Voelker who comes in there with experience. Macario's only 22. I believe Voelker's in his 30s, which is another problem. Young versus old. But how is he going to handle the wrestling that Voelker should implement in this fight? And there's so many shoulds and possibly, so there's just too many question marks for this fight for me to bet on it. But the lean is towards Bobby Voelker. The fourth pick, and this is all food for thought. Gleison Tibau, the Iron Man. I can't wait. I will be there live and in person. I can't wait till Black Sabbath Iron Man plays. And, I'm really looking forward to it. Gleison Tibau over Johnson. Now, the big two things are wrestling and submissions. That's Tibau, wrestling and submissions. And he only loses to the top 10 guys. Johnson, he's a little overrated now with the win over Lozon. Lozon overlooked him. And Lozon's wrestling is shit. You know, his jiu-jitsu is great, but his wrestling is shit. And Johnson was too quick for him. Johnson will be quicker than Tibau. But once Tibau gets his hands on him, and he will, he'll be able to control him, take him down, and hopefully submit him. So Johnson's weakness is Tibau's strengths. That's what it comes down to. My only concern is the speed factor, the motivation factor. But Tibau, man, his wrestling, his submissions, I really love his wrestling and submissions. I love how he takes control of the fight. And he's so muscular and so big. If he just came in a little bit smaller, a little less muscular, he would be able to have a less draining weight cut and be more hydrated, feel better, be more rested for the fight, and I believe he would perform better. But once again, ifs, and I'm trying to mold this guy to be what I would want him to be, and I want them to be the way that I want them to be in the octagon. So that's why I can't recommend it. I can't say, hey, I'm gonna place these many units on it, or this and that. But nonetheless, Tibau. Now these are 1-star bets or 1-star picks. 1-star picks. Food for thought, of course. Do not bet. And so this is number 5. This will be number 5. I have this worksheet that I was working on here that I gotta fix real quick here. There we go. And there it is. Okay, this is number 5, and it's Ronda Rousey. Now, she will probably win, but there's a lot of media and a lot of Hollywood movies in her schedule now, and there's a crazy price tag. So that's a big old do not bet. She's already beat Tate once. You know, Tate's already lost to her once. That armbar is coming, and it's going to land. But the odds are ridiculous, and those other two big question marks that I mentioned. So it's just a total do not bet. Ronda Rousey, I think she'll get the armbar in the second round this time. I think Tate will survive the first round. And then in the second, we'll see that armbar, and it's all over. Maybe even breaks the arm. Hopefully not, because Tate appears to be a real good girl. But hopefully she taps, and that'll be it. Number 6, really interesting guy here, Dennis Siver over Gamburyan. I like Siver here. He's 2-1 at 145 pounds. He's real strong at 145. Good striking, karate background. He lacks a little bit in the grappling department, but he has good takedown defense. But he's sitting at minus 270. Please. Gamburyan, he's got the judo. And I believe the striking will be a little closer than we expect. Some people are totally counting Gamburyan out, and that's not fair for him because I think it will be a little closer than we expect. But I believe Dennis Siver will get him nonetheless. And Gamburyan's been out for a little while now, so that's no good. But minus 270, man, that's a steep price for Siver. Number 7. I have Siyar Bahadurzada beating Howard, and this is also a 1-star. Siyar, deadly striking. I like the way this guy strikes. And I know he's been working on his takedown defense after his loss to Dong Hyun Kim. With Howard, he's a tough fighter. And I clearly remember an interview I heard of him talking about, I love 185, and I'm strong, and my kicks are good, and this and that, and I'm not going to go down to 170 again. I don't want to diet down to that. And then now another interview, recent, for this fight camp, and he's dieting down to 170, and his diet stinks. It's horrible, terrible diet. It's like a 1980s diet, and it's ridiculous. I don't understand why he's working with the dietitian he's working with, and he should look to grapple Siyar, but Siyar's stand-up will be his takedown defense will allow him to keep the fight standing up, and he'll get the knockout. And then we've got 4 more fights to go. So this is 0 stars, way too many variables, and man. So the number 8 pick is Josh Barnett defeating Travis Browne. Now, let's go. First of all, it's heavyweights. Heavyweights, man, these fights can just end in a flash. But with Josh Barnett, we've got the proven war master, a grappler. He can win by a submission here. He can win by decision. But the minus 200 price tag is steep, and even if it goes down, it's tough to count Browne out. He's got a lot of power. He's a smart guy. He's so smart. He fights at the Greg Jackson camp, but his only chance to win is standing up. And are we going to be in for a big letdown if he gets taken down, smothered, beat up on the ground, possibly submitted? And I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. I don't like counting out a guy like Browne, who I was very impressed with, a huge heart. And then Barnett, who's older, Browne, who's on the come up. I do lean Barnett, but it would not surprise me if Browne wins. So it's 0 stars. Now the other one that coming up is an upset, but very little confidence in it. And that's Fabricio Camoes. I have him defeating Jim Miller. Now, Camoes, training out of King's MMA, a third-degree black belt under Royler Gracie. And on paper, he shouldn't win. The question is, can he take down Miller and hold him there and work the submission game? There's a lot of questions. Now, with Miller, he should be able to do enough striking and enough to defend the takedowns and the submissions to win. But, Miller, he just hasn't looked good. He has not looked good. Maybe he's overfighting. A lot of times that happens, just like anything else in life. You do something for so long and then it just becomes less attractive. Maybe you want to try, maybe he wants to become a hunter, or maybe, I don't know, but he's got other interests outside of fighting. And what kind of motivation does he have coming into this fight, going up against Camoes? I mean, how can you be motivated for that? And Joe Silva's not dumb. Joe Silva is a fight genius, MMA genius, and he makes these matches that he believes are going to be competitive and are going to create for a good fight, which is what creates viewers and fans, which is what generates money. So I'm going with Camoes here for the upset. So that's that. Uriah Hall over Chris Leben. Man, I want Chris Leben to win this fight. I would like to see Leben win this fight, but Uriah Hall is younger, faster, stronger, but he has yet to prove his worth in a real UFC fight. Minus 300, please. Nope. Leben, a fast life. Renewed, he says, but for the UFC, it may be too late. For his personal life, that's great. Good. But for a fighting career, it may be too late. He's 33 years old with 32 pro fights, and he hasn't won since 2011. Chee-wee! It's almost 2014 in a few days. So I will be rooting for Chris Leben. I cannot bet any money on Hall. None. Zip, zilch. I can't throw money on Leben because he is 33 years old, and the reasons I just pointed out. But I can root for him because that is my preference. That is my choice. So Hall should win, but I'll be rooting for Leben. And last but not least, a fight that I just total pass fight. It's I have Robbie Peralta beating Payan. Which Peralta will show up, we do not know. Payan had a tough fight against Jeremy Stevens. And Peralta should win this fight. He should have the edge. It's one of those fights, like I said, I just have zero interest in. And may the best man win that one. Dog of the night. Bet at your own risk. Fabricio Camoes plus 325. Parlay of the night. Bet at your own risk. Silva at minus 145. Poirier at minus 260, which gives us plus 133. And the Hail Mary parlay of the night, you guys know I'm not a big fan of the parlays, but I do it because some of you guys love them, and I want to share with you what I believe will be a Hail Mary parlay. So it'll be Silva, minus 145, Poirier, minus 260, Tibau, minus 135, Voelker, minus 150. That gives us plus 578. Now, we get to the good part. MMA dogs, UFC 168 bets. 1 unit equals 1% of the bankroll. 1 unit, 1%. Silva, minus 145. 5 units to win 3.45. Silva, inside the distance, plus 105. 3 units to win plus 3.15. Silva by knockout, TKO, or DQ at plus 140. 2 units, which we will win plus 2.8 units. So as you can see, 10 units on Anderson Silva. And the fourth bet, last but not least, will be Dustin Poirier at minus 260. 7 units to win 2.69 units. So those are it. 4 plays. Anderson Silva and Dustin Poirier, the Spider and the Diamond. And man, I can't wait. I can already hear DMX, Ain't No Sunshine. And man, this will be a night of nights. Like I said, guys, a long time coming to this. And man, I can't wait. After this, I think we got the Singapore card. Can't wait for that. And yeah, so the big thing I thought of, and maybe I invented it, maybe I did not, I really don't care, but the takeaway message for here is that a losing bet starts with the wrong pick.
Nobody likes to lose, so be done letting that money burn its way through your pockets. Slow down, get ready. We are so confident that you will profit from our picks that if you don't, we will refund your money and give you the next card on us. In order to profit in the long run, it's important to be consistent with our picks. Rome wasn't built in a day and neither was Vegas. MMAdogs.com. Profit guaranteed.
MMA